she said. It's harmless. He just calls me baby as a joke. But when I arrived at her work event, he had his hand up her thigh under the table, while she giggled. I walked out without a word. Now she's begging me to talk this out like adults. Hey viewers, before we move on with the video, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want more stories like this. Thanks. It's harmless. That's just how Julian talks. He calls everyone baby or sweetie as a joke. Don't make this weird. Opie, you're projecting your own insecurities onto my career. That was the sentence. That was the set of words that kept me frozen for 3 months. A sentence that made me doubt my sanity, my own perception, and the gut instinct that had been screaming at me ever since Elena started her new job at the marketing firm. I'm 31. I'm an architect. I work with structures, foundations, load-bearing walls. If a foundation is cracked, you don't paint over it. You repair it, or you condemn the building. But in my relationship with Elena, I kept letting cracks get painted over as they widened every day. We had been together for 3 years. Good years. Solid years. We were talking about buying a place in the suburbs, maybe getting a dog. I was the steady hand at the wheel. She was the vibrant, chaotic energy that made life exciting. Everything changed when she got her account executive role. It was a major step up. More money, more travel, and a work hard, play hard culture that demanded full immersion. Then came Julian. First, Julian was just a name she mentioned casually over dinner. Julian had this wild idea for the pitch. Julian brought bagels for the team. Julian is so funny. You'd love him. He was the senior VP of sales, a legend in the office. From what I understood, he was the guy who closed the deals that kept everything running. Charismatic, loud, and according to Elena, just a really touchy, feely person. I tried to be the supportive boyfriend. I really did. I've never been the jealous type. Don't check phones. Don't interrogate who she texts. Believe that if you need to police your partner, the relationship is already broken. The Julian stories began to shift. The tone changed, from professional admiration to something stickier. It started with the hours. She'd come home at 8 o'clock p.m., then 9 p.m. Then came team drinks that stretched until midnight on a Tuesday. When she returned, she wasn't tired. She was wired, buzzing with adrenaline, smelling like expensive gin, checking her phone every 30 seconds. Then came the work husband jokes. Oh, Julian is totally my work husband, she said one night while we were watching Netflix. She was typing rapidly on her phone. He literally knows my coffee order better than you do. She laughed. I didn't. Is he texting you right now? I asked, trying to keep my tone even. It was 10:30 p.m. It's just work gossip, she said without looking up. HR drama. You wouldn't get it. I don't know. The breaking point, or what should have been the breaking point, came 2 weeks before the gala. We were in bed. Elena had fallen asleep with her phone on the nightstand, face up. I was reading, trying to wind down, when the screen lit up. The room was dark, so the glow was impossible to ignore. I glanced over. I wasn't trying to snoop, but the font was large and the notification stayed on the screen. Julian. Work night baby. Winky face. See you at the office. Don't be late this time. My stomach dropped. It felt like I'd swallowed ice. Night baby. With a winky face. I stared at the phone until the screen went dark. Then I looked at Elena, sleeping peacefully, breathing slow and steady. I felt sick. This wasn't work gossip. This wasn't HR drama. I didn't sleep that night. I lay there staring at the ceiling, rehearsing what I would say, trying to find a rational explanation that didn't involve my girlfriend emotionally cheating on me with her boss. The next morning, while she made coffee, I decided to bring it up. I wanted to stay calm. I wanted to be rational. Elena, I said, leaning against the counter. I saw a text on your phone last night. She froze. The spoon clinked against the mug. She turned, eyes narrowing instantly, not with fear, but irritation. You went through my phone. No, I said evenly. It lit up on the nightstand. It was from Julian. He called you baby, and used a winky face. She stared at me for a moment, then laughed. A loud, dismissive, disbelieving laugh. Are you serious right now? She asked, shaking her head as she poured milk into her coffee. You're actually mad about that? He called you baby, Elena, at 11 p.m. Oh my God, she sighed, rolling her eyes so hard it looked painful. Oi, please don't be that guy. Don't be the jealous, controlling boyfriend. It's embarrassing. How is it controlling to ask why another man is calling my girlfriend pet names late at night? She slammed the coffee mug down on the counter. Coffee spilled over the rim. Because that's just who Julian is, she exclaimed, throwing her hands up. He calls everyone that. He calls the receptionist sweetie. He calls interns darling. He's just European. He's expressive. It's a joke. It's harmless. That's just how Julian talks. He calls everyone baby or sweetie as a joke. Don't make this weird. She walked past me, grabbing her bag. She paused in the doorway and looked back at me with pure disappointment. I thought you were secure enough to handle me having a career, she said, her voice dripping with condescension. Julian is my boss. He's a mentor. If I make a big deal out of his jokes, I look like a prude and it hurts my standing at the firm. Do you want me to get fired because you're feeling insecure? I'm not insecure, I argued, but my voice lacked conviction. She had flipped it so quickly. Suddenly, I was the problem. I was the threat to her career. Then stop acting like it, she snapped. I have a big presentation today. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to comfort you because you misread a text message. We can talk about this later, if you can be an adult about it. She walked out the door. I stood in the kitchen feeling small, feeling foolish. I replayed her words. He calls everyone that. It's a joke. Maybe she was right, I told myself. Maybe corporate culture had changed, and I was just old-fashioned. Maybe I was being insecure. After all, Elena was beautiful and charismatic. Of course men would flirt with her. She said it was one-sided and meaningless. I should trust her. That's what a good partner does. I swallowed the doubt, pushed it down deep into my stomach where ulcers grow. I'm sorry. I texted her later that day. Good luck with the presentation, she replied instantly. Thanks. Love you. Don't worry about Julian. He's annoying anyway. Lol. I exhaled. I let it go. I was an idiot. 2 weeks later the annual company gala arrived. It was a black tie event at one of the most exclusive hotels in the city. Elena had bought a new dress. A stunning backless emerald green gown that cost more than my first car. She had been talking about the night for months. It's a big networking opportunity. She had told me while fixing her hair in the mirror. Julian is going to introduce me to the regional directors. And I need you to be charming. Can you be charming? And please don't give Julian the death stare. Be normal. I'll be normal, I promised, adjusting my tie. I'll be the perfect +1. I looked at myself in the mirror. I looked put together. I looked like a man who had things under control. But as we stepped into the ballroom, under crystal chandeliers and the hum of expensive conversation, I felt that cold weight in my stomach return. I scanned the room. It didn't take long to find him. Julian was standing near the bar, holding a scotch, surrounded by a circle of laughing people. He was older than I expected, maybe 45, with silver fox hair and a suit that fit him almost perfectly. He radiated that specific arrogance that passes for confidence in sales. Elena squeezed my hand. Come on, she whispered, her eyes lighting up. Let's go say hi. She wasn't squeezing my hand for comfort. She was pulling me toward him. She was dragging me toward the edge of a cliff, and I, like a loyal dog, followed right beside her. We approached the circle, and Julian spotted her instantly. His eyes didn't go to her face first. They did a quick, practice sweep over her body in that green dress, before landing on her eyes. Elena, he boomed, stepping out of the circle to embrace her. It wasn't a polite handshake, or a quick hug. He pulled her in close, lingering a moment too long, his hand resting familiarly on her lower back. You look incredible. I knew green was your color. She beamed, cheeks flushing. Thanks, Julian. You clean up pretty well yourself. Finally, he turned to me. The smile didn't reach his eyes. It was the smile of a shark acknowledging prey. And this must be OP, he said, extending his hand. His grip was firm, almost aggressive. I've heard some things about you. All good, I hope? Oh, mostly, he laughed, clapping me on the shoulder a bit too hard. Elena tells me you're the creative type. An architect, right? Drawing pretty buildings while the rest of us sell the bricks. The group laughed. It was a subtle jab, framing my work as decorative, and his as essential. Elena laughed too. That stung more than his comment. Something like that, I replied calmly. The cocktail hour was unbearable. I stood there holding a lukewarm beer while Elena and Julian finished each other's sentences. They spoke in shorthand I couldn't follow. Acronyms, office nicknames, references to lunches I didn't know they had shared. I was physically there, standing right beside the woman I intended to propose to. I felt like a ghost. At one point, Julian leaned in to whisper something to her. He didn't just lean. He invaded her space. His mouth was inches from her ear. Elena giggled, a high, breathless sound I hadn't heard from her in months. She swatted his arm playfully. Stop it, she said, biting her lip. Opie is right there. He doesn't mind, Julian said, winking at me. He knows we're just having fun, right, Opie? I stared at him. Depends on your definition of fun. Elena shot me a warning look. Don't embarrass me. Dinner was announced. We moved into the main hall. I checked the seating chart. Table 4. Elena, me, Julian. Of course. We sat down. The lights dimmed. The speeches began. The wine flowed. Julian kept refilling Elena's glass before it was even empty. He charmed the entire table, telling war stories about clients he'd won over, but his body stayed angled entirely toward her. I tried to focus on my steak. I tried to tell myself I was being paranoid. He's just European. He's expressive. Then, about halfway through the main course, I dropped my napkin. It was a clumsy movement, my hand shaking slightly from suppressed rage, and it slid off my lap onto the floor, between my chair and Elena's. I pushed my chair back slightly, and bent down to retrieve it. The tablecloth was long, draping almost to the floor, forming a dark, private cavern underneath the table. I reached for the white linen square. My eyes adjusted to the dim light beneath the table. Time stopped. I saw Elena's legs. She was wearing heels, her ankles crossed. And I saw Julian's hand. It wasn't on her knee. It wasn't an accidental brush against her thigh. His hand was high on her thigh. His fingers spread across the skin, revealed by the slit in her dress. His thumb was rubbing slow, possessive circles into her flesh. And Elena, she wasn't pulling away. She wasn't stiff with discomfort. Her leg was angled toward him, pressing into his hand. It froze. The noise of the gala, the clinking silverware, the laughter, CEO's speech, faded into a dull roar. All I could see was that hand, that violation of everything we had built, that physical proof of the joke she had gaslit me with for weeks. It's harmless. He calls everyone baby. You're insecure. I grabbed my napkin and sat up. Blood rushed to my head. I felt dizzy. I looked at Elena. She was sipping wine, looking over the rim of her glass at Julian. He leaned in and whispered something, his lips barely moving. She let out a soft, suppressed giggle, and leaned toward him, her shoulder brushing his. She was enjoying it. That was the realization that broke me. Not just that he was touching her, but that she liked it. She liked the thrill, the secrecy, the disrespect of doing it right beside me. I didn't scream. I didn't flip the table. Strange cold calm came over me. Clarity of a man who finally sees the blueprint for what it is. Flawed, dangerous, structurally unsound. I placed the napkin on the table. I stood up. Lena looked up, startled. Where are you going? Dessert is coming. I'm leaving, I said. My voice was steady. What? Her brow furrowed. What? Are you sick? I looked at Julian. He was smirking, swirling his wine, not even trying to look guilty. Then I looked at Elena. No, I said. I've just seen enough. I turned and walked away. Opie, she hissed. Sit down. Everyone is looking. I didn't stop. I walked through the ballroom, past tables of laughing colleagues, past the open bar, and out through the double doors. I handed my ticket to the valet, got my car, and drove into the night. The drive home was silent. No radio, no podcasts, just the hum of the engine and the replay of that image in my mind. The hand, the thumb, the giggle. I arrived at our apartment. Well, my apartment, though she had slowly taken over every closet and drawer over the past 2 years. I didn't cry, didn't throw anything. I went into architect mode. Problem identified. Solution required. Execution initiated. Pulled 2 suitcases from the storage closet. Went into the bedroom and started packing. Not my things, hers. Didn't pack everything. Only the essentials. Clothes, toiletries, shoes, her laptop. I worked efficiently, folding things neatly. Not out of kindness, out of purpose. To leave no reason for her to linger. No excuse to say she couldn't find her charger. Placed the suitcases by the front door. Sat on the couch in the dark and waited. It took her an hour to get home. I heard the key turn in the lock. She burst in, flustered, her face flushed with anger. What the hell is wrong with you? She shouted, slamming the door. She was still in the green dress, but it no longer looked beautiful. It looked like a costume. You left me there. Do you have any idea how embarrassing that was? Julian asked where you went, and I had to lie and say you had a stomach bug. She flicked on the lights. She saw the suitcases. She froze. The anger on her face faltered, replaced by confusion. What is this? She said, pointing at the bags. Are you going somewhere? No, I said, standing up. You are, she laughed. A nervous, sharp sound. What are you talking about? Is this because of the gala? Because I was talking to my boss? You're being insane, Opie. You're being so dramatic. I saw his hand, Elena. The room went dead silent. The air conditioner hummed. Her face went pale. She opened her mouth, closed it, then opened it again. The pivot was coming. I could see it. the gears turning, searching for an angle. What? She stammered. I don't know what you're talking about. I dropped my napkin, I said, my voice flat. I bent down to pick it up. I saw his hand under the table on your thigh. High up. She blinked rapidly. You're imagining things. It was dark. Maybe his hand brushed me by accident. You're crazy, Opie. You're looking for reasons to be jealous. His thumb was moving. Elena. He was rubbing your leg, and you were leaning into him. You were giggling. She flushed red. The denial failed, so she shifted tactics. Minimization. "Okay, look," she said, her voice dropping to a whisper. Maybe he got a little friendly. We had a lot of wine. It didn't mean anything. It was just a moment. We didn't do anything. It's not like I slept with him. You let another man grope you while your boyfriend sat 12 inches away, I said. You let him disrespect me. You let him disrespect us. And you enjoyed it. And you called me insecure for weeks because I sensed this was happening. You made me feel crazy. It was a mistake, she cried, tears finally forming. I'm sorry. I was drunk. I got caught up in the moment. It won't happen again. Please, Opie, don't throw away 3 years over one stupid drunken moment. It wasn't one moment, I said. It was the texts, the late nights, the baby. This was the finale. Elena, I'm not interested in the encore. You can't just kick me out, she screamed, panic rising. I live here. My name is on the lease, I reminded her. I paid the deposit. I pay the rent. You transfer me money for groceries. You have a sister in the city. Go there. Opie, please, she sobbed, reaching for me. She tried to grab my hand. I stepped back. I didn't want her touching me. The thought of her skin made my skin crawl. Take your bags, I said. I'll box up the rest of your things this weekend. You can come get them when I'm not here. Leave the key. She stared at me, realizing for the first time that the safe, steady, boring man she had taken for granted had a breaking point, and she had pushed straight through it. She grabbed the suitcase handles, sobbing loudly, making a performance of her heartbreak. You're going to regret this, she choked out. You're throwing away the best thing that ever happened to you because of your ego. Goodbye, Elena. She slammed the door behind her. I walked over, locked the deadbolt, and engaged the chain. Then I went to the kitchen, poured the remaining wine she had bought down the sink, and deleted her number from my phone. The next few weeks were a blur of silence. I blocked her everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. I blocked her number, but the silence wasn't empty. It was peaceful. I hadn't realized how much noise she had brought into my life. The constant need for validation, the drama with her friends, the career anxieties she unloaded on me every night. Of course, the flying monkeys came. Her best friend Sarah texted me 3 days later. Opie, you need to call Elena. She's a mess. She hasn't eaten in days. She says this is all a huge misunderstanding, and you're being incredibly cruel. You're really going to end a 3-year relationship over a hand placement. Grow up. I didn't reply. I blocked Sarah. Her mom called. I let it go to voicemail. Opie, it's Linda. Elena is devastated. She loves you so much. Please, just talk to her. Couples have rough patches. Don't be rash. I blocked Linda. I established a new routine, the post-breakup trinity. 1. Gym. I went every morning at 6 a.m. I lifted heavy until my muscles shook, replacing emotional pain with physical exhaustion. 2. Work. I threw myself into a new project, a library restoration downtown. I worked late simply because I didn't want to sit in the empty apartment. 3. Silence. I didn't date. I didn't go to bars. I sat with the betrayal. I processed it. I dissected it like a structural failure. I realized Elena hadn't just cheated. She had treated me like a placeholder. I was the safe harbor where she docked her ship while she searched for excitement out on the open ocean. Julian was the excitement. Fine. She could have the excitement. I would keep the harbor. The anger eventually faded, replaced by a cold, steady indifference. I stopped wondering what she was doing. I stopped wondering if she was with Julian, until the rumors began to trickle back. They started about a month later. I hadn't asked for them. I had told mutual friends I didn't want updates. I didn't want to know if she was happy, sad, or gone. But information always finds a way to leak through even the most carefully built walls. It was Mark, a friend from college who worked in another department at her firm, who finally broke it. We were having a beer, and after 3 rounds, he couldn't keep it in anymore. You know about Julian, right? He asked, watching me over the rim of his glass. I stiffened. I don't want to know, Mark. You do, he grinned. Trust me. You really do. I exhaled. Fine. What happened? Did they get married? Are they the power couple of the century? Mark laughed so hard he almost choked. Married. Opie. Julian got transferred to the London office 2 weeks after you broke up with Elena. He didn't take her. He didn't even tell her until the company memo came out. A grim smile tugged at the corner of my mouth. You're kidding. Nope. And it gets better. Mark leaned in, lowering his voice. As soon as you kicked her out and she became available, Julian lost interest. The chase was over. He told people in sales she was getting too clingy and unprofessional. He ghosted her. Opie. He literally ghosted her inside the office, until his transfer went through. I took a long sip of my beer. It tasted like victory. So that was it. The great love story, the intellectual connection, the work husband who supposedly understood her better than I did. It was just a game to him. I was the goalie. And once I left the field, scoring wasn't fun anymore. She's a mess at work, Mark continued. Her numbers are down. She cries in the bathroom. People avoid her because the whole thing with Julian made her look desperate. She burned her life down for a guy who saw her as a layover flight. I expected pity. I waited for the, I should check on her, feeling to hit me. But it never came. All I felt was validation. My instincts hadn't just been right. They had been precise. A week later, the emails started. I had blocked her number, but her emails bypassed my spam filter. Subject. Missing you. OP. I know you blocked me. I understand why. I just wanted to say I'm so sorry. I've been thinking a lot. Julian was a mistake. I was in a weird place and let validation get to my head. I miss our life. I miss us. Can we please talk? I deleted it. Subject. Please read. I'm staying at my sister's on the couch. It's horrible. I realize how much I took our home for granted. You were my only stability. Julian was a narcissist. Opie. You were right about him. I should have listened. Please let me come home. I'll do anything. I deleted it. Subject. You owe me closure. You can't just erase 3 years. OP. That's sociopathic. I made a mistake, but you're being cruel. We were best friends. Don't I deserve 5 minutes to explain myself? I didn't delete that one right away. I stared at it. You owe me. The entitlement was still there, festering beneath the apology. She didn't miss me. She missed the safety net. She missed the rent, the stability, the man who cooked dinner, and provided the structure she had traded for a cheap thrill. I moved it to trash, and emptied it. 6 months passed. I was a different person. I had gained 10 pounds of muscle. The library restoration project had been featured in a local architecture digest. I had started seeing a woman named Claire, a pediatrician who communicated clearly, hated drama, and had 0 work husbands. I had almost forgotten the sound of Elena's voice. Then she ambushed me. It was a Tuesday morning. I was at my usual coffee shop near my office, waiting for my Americano. I was scrolling through emails on my phone, when I felt a presence beside me. Hello, Opie. I looked up. It was Elena, but not the Elena I remembered. The Elena I knew was vibrant, sharp, always perfectly put together. This woman looked diminished. Her hair was pulled into a messy bun. Her blazer hung a size too large. Dark circles under her eyes weren't fully covered by concealer. She held a cup of tea, her hands trembling slightly. Elena, I said. My voice was flat. No anger, no warmth, just recognition. I knew you came here before work, she said, offering a tentative, fragile smile. I've been hoping to run into you. I'm busy, Elena. Just 5 minutes, she pleaded, eyes already welling up. She had perfected that look over 3 years. The damsel in distress expression that used to make me fold instantly. Please, I just want to clear the air. We ended things so badly. I didn't end things badly, I corrected her. I ended things decisively. I know, she sniffled. And you were right to be angry. I was terrible. Julian, he used me. He told everyone I was obsessed with him. He ruined my reputation at the firm. I might have to quit. She paused, waiting for me to comfort her. Waiting for, that's awful, or, I'm sorry. I just looked at her. That sounds like a difficult work environment, I said. It was the kind of sentence you'd say to a stranger at a bus stop. She flinched. Coldness hit harder than shouting would have. Is that it? She whispered. You don't even care after everything we went through? I'm struggling, Opie. I'm really struggling. She stepped closer, reaching for my arm. I miss you. I miss who I was with you. You made me a better person. Can't we just grab dinner? Start over? I promise, I'm different now. I've learned my lesson. I stepped back, avoiding her touch. You're not listening, I said calmly. I am. I know I hurt you. No, I cut in. You didn't just hurt me. You insulted me. You looked me in the eye for months, and told me I was crazy for seeing what was right in front of me. You called me insecure to cover your own lack of integrity. I know, she sobbed. I'm sorry. I don't need your apology, Elena, I said. Because I don't care anymore. She looked at me, stunned. You don't mean that. I do. When I walked out of that gala, I didn't just leave the venue. I left you. I left the drama, the gaslighting, the work husbands, everything. Looking at you now, seeing you blame Julian for ruining you, instead of taking responsibility for your own choices, just confirms I made the right decision. I am taking responsibility, she cried, noticing people in the coffee shop beginning to stare. I'm here, aren't I? I'm begging you. You're here because you're lonely and your life got hard, I said. You're not here for me. You're here for the safety net. But the net is gone. The barista called my name. Order for Opie. I walked over and grabbed my coffee. Turned back to her one last time. You know, you should actually thank Julian, I said. She blinked, confused. What? He did me a favor, I said. If he hadn't been so arrogant, if he hadn't put his hand on your leg that night, I might have married you. I might have wasted my life with someone who thinks loyalty is a joke. I took a sip of my coffee. So yeah, I'm good. Good luck, Elena. Opie, please, she started, voice cracking. I turned and walked out the door. The morning air was crisp. The city was waking up. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from Claire asking if I wanted to try that new Thai place tonight. I typed back, sounds perfect. See you at 7 o'clock. I put my phone away and walked toward my office. I didn't look back through the coffee shop window. I didn't need to see if she was crying. I didn't need to see the regret on her face. She was just a stranger I used to know. And I had buildings to design. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.